Hello, Burstream here. Thank you for watching my first video about Chaos Dragons, the deck, the strategy, of course, the skeleton. This video is about the support cards for the deck, the remaining monsters that you might need to use to fill out your deck, your side deck, and of course your extra deck as well. Let's go ahead and jump right in. We have 32 cards in the skeleton, so we have about 8-9 slots to fill in the main deck, and then of course the other two side and extra. So let's jump in with two cards. Gorz and Tragoedia. So we have both cards. Good dark monsters are hard to come by. Since we don't run any defensive traps, the hand traps are the next best thing. And Tragoedia and Gorz do shine. Gorz obviously when dropped is a 2700 beater and plus a token equal to the damage you've taken. Tragoedia gets summoned when you take battle damage. Tragoedia is monster manipulation, level manipulation, so it's definitely a good card to have, and obviously 600 attack for every card in your hand. Gorz is a good battle stopper as well as providing that offensive move on the next turn. The best defense is a good offense, and Gorz definitely fills that. Both dark, both good choices to continue filling those dark slots in your deck. Let's go ahead and talk about Lyla. Since we do run 2 Charger Light Brigade, we have access to 3 Reinforcement of the Iron Maids. Having a decent light sword engine works out pretty well. To round out the lights, Lyla is very good. Decent attack and a simple effect. For your normal summon, obviously activate her effect. She will destroy one spell or trap card on the field. You mill 3 cards in the end phase, but that's not a effect you should be relying on. You want to use Lyla for her destruction effect. And if for some reason she stays until the end of the turn, that milling 3 cards is just icing on the cake. Obviously, use her to go into rank 4 Exceed. Next is Lumina, another Lightsworn target that you can use for charge. Discard a card, special summon a Lyla or Radiant from your graveyard. Destroy something, go into level 7 Synchro, whether it's Black Rose, whether it's Michael, to banish something and mill. Lumina is overall a good card if you're looking for more Lightsworns, but obviously her effect might get negated and you're discarding a card too, so keep an eye on that. Next we have Denko-Sekka. Light, level 4, 1700 attack. Since we don't run any defensive spells or traps, she will always be good for this deck. When you summon her, all face down spell and trap cards cannot be activated, and they cannot set any more spell or trap cards. The thing with Denko-Sekka, it's a good card for us. You can summon her, you can go off with all your effects without having to worry about your opponent's face down field. But that's all she does. She takes up your normal summon. She's 1700 attack. She's kind of just there to provide I guess in a sense, a win more effect to kind of block your opponent's face down spell traps. Because with this deck, you're going to be baiting out a lot of cards, whether it's by monster fights, whether it's by Mystical Space Typhoon. So you shouldn't have to really too much about that. But Denko-Sekka is a good card and something you should think about. The next few cards are a little situational, but I find them to work out. It's not cards that you might jump at you at once, but the more you think about it, maybe you change your mind about them. So the first card I'm talking about is Divine Dragon Apocryph. He's 1000 attack, 1500 defense. Its effect, obviously, you discard a card, and you can add any dragon from your graveyard to your hand. It's a good card. It synergizes well with all our dragons. Whether you need to fill up your graveyard for that third dark, you need to grab Red Eyes Darkness Metal or Dark Arm back so you can summon them. And obviously, if you grab Darkness Metal, you can banish Divine Dragon and special summon Light Pulsar or any other dragon there. It's a good card. Some people might think it's dead, but you're only going to be running one of. If it does get milled or if you do see it, it's not going to be a bad thing. It's just something to use. The next card alongside with that is a new card from Clash of Rebellions, and that is Keeper of the Shrine. It's a really good card. I'm really high on this card. Its effect is this can be treated as 2 tributes for a tribute summon of a dragon type monster. And whenever a dragon gets destroyed, whether in your side of the field or your opponent's side of the field, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. There is a normal monster effect that goes alongside with it, but obviously that's not what we're focusing on. We're focusing on this guy as a consistent floater from the graveyard, from the hand. So if it gets milled, great. If a dragon gets destroyed, and we are running a lot of dragons, you special summon him right to the field. So he's going to be always there for rank 4, Synchro. Overall, it's a good card. It doesn't have any attack, but that's not what you're using it. You're using it for the plays that it could create for the constant special summoning that it becomes. It's always be there as long as something's getting destroyed. And its first effect, 2 tributes for Dragon Time Monster Tribute Summon, is good. And it goes into the next card that I'm going to show here. And hopefully it kind of increases the viability of the next card based on this one card here, Keeper of the Shrine. Dark Dragon, we'll always need more darks. Fills a good hole. The next card is Light and Darkness Dragon. Obviously, if you know Yu-Gi-Oh!, this is a really great card. It wrecks a lot of different decks. And it's a target for Eclipse Wyvern. So that lets us allows us to run 2 Eclipse Wyverns, so we can search out Light and Darkness Dragon, Dark Arm, Red Eyes. We want to gain advantage on our own without relying on an opponent, and this card kind of gives us that next step. Alongside Keeper of the Shrine, whenever a monster dragon gets destroyed, this guy's going to be on the field, so this card can be live at any time. 2 tributes, normal summon. We don't have too many monsters to normal summon anymore. We have Raiden, Card Trooper, and Chaos. Pretty much. The rest can get special summoned by Chaos. So we'll always have a normal summon open depending on the situation. And if Keeper's on the field, well, Light and Darkness will always be live to summon. These 3 cards really work well with each other. Obviously, if Light and Darkness gets destroyed, you can get Red and Darkness Metal, special summon him, discard a card, get him back, and summon him again to kind of keep the loop going. Like I said earlier, I'm very high in Keeper, so I hope he does well in testing. I hope it'd be a good strategy moving forward. Next card is Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Pretty expensive right now. I'm looking to try to get 2 for my side, but what it does for us is it's level 3 tuner, so it gives us options to go into level 6 Synchros, whether it's Michael or Black Rose, but it also helps us in the Quill Form matchup and other matchups to destroy face-up cards. It's a light, so anything light or dark will always be welcome to us. It's a good card even though it's expensive, but definitely something to think about. Next card is a little bit older, Raikou, Flip Effect Monster. We haven't used Raikou in a while now just because it's kind of slow and it might not be the best thing to go about, but with Elemental Hero Darklaw, Master Hero Darklaw, Raikou is a good out to him. He'll destroy him and then mill 3 cards. So it's a good card to kind of side for those situations where you need to have more destruction, whether it's monster or spell traps. Searchable by Charger Light Brigade, so that always fits well. If you need like more destruction to get out those pesky monsters, Raikou would be a good choice. Maxi is always good. Everybody special summons, and we want to maintain our card advantage in our hand, as well as if they special summon trying to go for the OTK and we Maxi, we can draw into that Gorz or Trag and kind of prolong the duel a little bit further. Maxi is very good. The only other non-light and dark attribute that I would recommend, anything else has got to stick around that theme just because we always want to be live with light and dark monsters in the graveyard. Next is DD Crow, another hand trap, more disruptive, banish those key cards against your Doll, Necroz, or Burning Abyss while maintaining a dark in the graveyard, setting up for Dark Arm and such. It's a good card, you just gotta use it wisely and use it properly. Doom Caliber Knight, another dark monster. We're always looking for great dark monsters. Level 4, 1900 attack, so it's a good beater. And it negates any monster effects. So you can definitely put the pressure on your opponent against in Burning of the Abyss if you're going toe-to-toe in card advantage, while also kind of dealing some damage. It's a good card, can't be special summon, but it's definitely a good side card. I've used it before to good effect. And then we also have Effect Veiler, a good main and side card. I would probably push you more towards the side just because it's terrible against Quill Forts, but against other decks, negation is always welcome. Quick shout out to Honest. I didn't have him out here. It's a good side, possibly a good main if you're looking for some more damage and protection via hand traps, and it's a good out to towers. So definitely side 2 or think about running more. Think about running in the main deck. Alright, let's move on to the spells, and we're going to talk about Solar Recharge first. So with Solar Recharge, we're running a more decent Lightsworn engine. We have 3 reinforcements at our disposal, 2 Charger Light Brigades. So we will definitely have a lot of ways to maintain to keep Solar Recharge live. I would recommend running around 2. If you go towards mode 3, you might need more monsters to maintain the card. But I think 2 is a good spot for it. It takes away the importance of the normal summon. It gives us an ability to fill up the graveyard really quickly, see 2 more cards in our deck. At minimum, at the end of activating Solar Recharge, we'll have 1 light in the graveyard, the Lightstorm you discarded, 2 more cards that you milled, and obviously you get 2 more cards in your hand, so you can definitely take a look. It's a really good card in our deck. You just gotta make sure you have enough targets so it isn't dead. All right, let's go into a few more spells that I think are key for our deck too. Obviously, we have Mystical Space Typhoon at 2 in our deck. I would side the other one. And then let's talk about Twister. Twister is very simple. Destroy a face-up spell for paying 500 life points. The best thing about it, it's quick play. It's fast. It can always work. You always want to hold your spell and trap card destruction until you see something you really need to get rid of, like a Skill Drain, like a Pendulum, something like that. And Twister fits the bill. You just play it and just destroy it. Exactly the effect you need as quickly as possible. Diffusion, good against Shaddoll, good against Dark Law. You just want to get them off the field without activating effects. Diffusion is your way to go. Quick play again, going with that theme, just something immediate, something you can use. Not anything you wait on via trap-wise. For Forbidden Lance, you want your effects to go off, so if you summon anything against a back row heavy deck, it's a good card to kind of side and kind of hold and use so you can get all your effects to go through. Next is Galaxy Cyclone. Another card that I'm thinking about getting as well. I would prefer Mystical Space Typhoon and Twister over this card just because of the fact that it is quick play, that I can chain it to whatever card is being chained to me during that chain. And a Galaxy Cyclone, it's very situational. It sets up a few scenarios that I just wouldn't see myself running it over MST. Like, let's say you draw a card in your draw phase, your opponent flips, lose 1 turn or something else, and all you have is Galaxy Cyclone. Well, you can't destroy that face-up card because Galaxy Cyclone's not in the graveyard. It only targets face-down cards in your hand. So now you got to get it in the graveyard or kind of wait on another card to draw. I would prefer just having that MST where that card would be destroyed by now. I wouldn't have to worry about it. It's just gone. Galaxy Cyclone is still a good side card because if you side in that 3rd MST, you need more destruction, side in 2 more Cyclones. You'll see your MSTs. If you mill a Cyclone, then you can use it later on for face-up cards. So it's still a good card. Still a little bit expensive. Obviously, it's a secret. But definitely an option. Definitely an option. Alright, and the card I didn't talk about earlier was Foolish Burial. I find that I'm not high on it anymore. I'm not willing to recommend it just because we want to maintain advantage. Everybody is so quick. All this really does for us is sets up our graveyard. We kind of -1 or break even if we send a Eclipse Wyvern and then special summon our monster to get it back, to get that monster that we banished back. It's not good enough anymore to me. It'll work well. Obviously, we want to get cards in the graveyard, but we have 2 Charged Light Brigade now. We have 2 card tributes. We have Raiders. We have stuff that gets it. We have other ways to get going. And Foolish Burial is it's too simple, and in my opinion, not as worth it anymore. Shout out to Raigeki and Dark Hole as well. Obviously, more so Raigeki. We are a deck that OTKs. Raigeki clears the field, and we can just push for game. Not many decks run Battle Stoppers outside of Necroz. So if you can clear their field and just go after their life points, you can probably win the duel. Another card I'm going to mention that a lot of people might think about is Soul Charge. Obviously, we're going to be milling a lot, so there's going to be a lot of monsters in our graveyard. But the whole point of Soul Charge is to kind of set up an unbreakable field, and we can't really do that. We want to be really aggressive with our plays. We want to banish, we want to attack, and Soul Charge doesn't let us do that. Even though we can special summon maybe a Black Luster or a Chaos Sorcerer back to banish cards, or summon 2 Light Pulsars and go to Rake 6. It just really doesn't help our overall strategy. We were just kind of there with monsters. We kind of paid, let's say, 3,000, 4,000 life points on a deck that doesn't run any really defense outside of Gorz, Tragodia, if you choose to run it. So we're kind of putting ourselves in a worse position than we've been before. So I probably wouldn't. Moving on. Few traps you might be willing to run. Obviously more for side, because I would probably recommend a trapless deck. Ring of Destruction, chainable, great card. That Vanity's Emptiness. Vanity is always good to block special summons. Breakthrough Skill, if we mill it, we can banish it to negate a Fiesta monster on our turn, and obviously negates effects. Definitely a good card. And obviously, since we run no back row, Royal Decree to negate all those other traps if needed. So those are the spell traps and the monsters that I would probably recommend. If you think I missed anything that deserves a mention, please let me know in the comments. Let me know if there's anything I missed. Two cards that I will mention is Curry Bandit and Plague Spreader, and I feel like it's been past their time. Curry Bandit, while it may seem good, pretty much makes us pass our turn. If we mill 5 cards when we don't get a spell, well, we pretty much just lost the duel there. And Plague Spreader is not as good. It's just a tuner, so we're kind of relying on whatever synchro we make. And if we want to special summon for the grave, we got to go -1. Definitely, not, in my opinion, not worth it. Alright, so let's move into the extra deck. Let's start with the level 7 synchros. If we do run a Ghost Ogre or any other level 3 tuner alongside the mini dragons, these cards are very easy to make. Black Rose for Mass Destruction, Michael to banish any card and mill 3, Clear Wing Synchro to block effects, very good card. And then as well as Moonlight Dragon is another good card to think about too. Leo, that one Leo, level 6 and Raiden makes Leo, very good card. Then we go to our level 8 synchros. Definitely a lot to choose from. These are just some of the few that they might be worth running. Thought Ruler for that life point gain and a Spell and Trap negation, 2700 attack, really good against Burning Abyss, of course, and other decks that use targeting traps and spells. High Red Archfiend doesn't target, destroys all face-up attack position monsters, and you can attack for 3000. Dark Dragon, so it is a target for Light Pulsar, and if Light Pulsar is next to him, you activate his effect. Hits destroyed, get Red Eyes, summon Light Pulsar, and just attack next turn. Crimson Blader, good against Nekroz, good against Shaddolls, just kind of attacking and kind of locking them down, and you get advantage on that, kind of skipping their turn in a sense. Good old Stardust Dragon, since obviously we have Red Eyes, we can special summon him from the grave. Really good effect, out to Construct. Another card to think about, Angel of Zera. If it's ever banished, you can special summon on the next standby phase. It's a light. It always keep coming back if it's banished, so it's just kind of a good beater, kind of good light fodder. I find myself having more lights than darks, so just something to think about. Not really needed, but it's a fun card. And the last one's Scrap Dragon. Works well with Light Pulsar, the mini dragons, destroys face-up cards. We always want more destruction, whether spell, trap, or monster. This guy does it all. A few other level 8s that are out there that you can definitely try, like the other version of the Stardust to protect your cards, but I feel like these are the cards that are more needed. You can definitely try other cards and see. Alright, so for your Exceed, we have Castel, Abyss Dweller for Disruption, Exiton Knight, definitely good cards. Another card, Queen Dragon Dijin to special summon your cards back, works well with Keeper, brings back Destroyed Stardust, Light Pulsar, and it'll still gets effects, and it's a dark as well. And now for your rank 6, let's go with Photon Strike Monster to negate those effects, 2700 attack. Constellar M7 to return cards from the field back to the hand, or to grab any monster from your graveyard to your hand, whether it's a Blackluster or anything else. Maybe even run 2 of them if you find yourself making him often, just because it's a really good card to get anything you might need. Light. Insector Exobeetle, one of my favorite cards, one of my favorite rank 6 to make, just because it works really well with the mini dragons and like Pulsar. They will still get their effect if you target them to equip and then use the effect to send, because they're sent to that's the last thing to happen, is sent to the graveyard. So you'll get the counterpart for the mini dragons, or if you send like Pulsar, you got Red Eyes back, something like Pulsar. And then what you can do for him is you can overlay with Gaia Dragon, since he'll be at 1000 attack. The last card here for the rank 6 is Utopia Beyond. When it's XYZ summon, all your opponent's monsters' attacks become 0. So it's a good late game card. Or if you just want direct access to your opponent's life points, you can summon him, summon more monsters. Depending on how many they had, you can just attack over. And if it's late game and they have like 1,000 life points left, you can bring him out and just attack, and you pretty much win there. And the last card, obviously, Gaia Dragon. All these cards you can just overlay. It works very well with Insector Beetle. Alright guys, well that is the extra. Obviously feel free to add any more, like Dark Rebellion himself is another good choice to that. That is all the cards that I can think of at the moment for support for Chaos Dragons. Definitely pick and choose what you might need for the deck. I believe I'll do one more video showing what I'm running, kind of more strategy, maybe even some hands to see exactly if you want an idea of how it's played against the other decks. And maybe, yeah, and I'll go into a few more in depth of how to play against each deck, what you should be doing, what you not should be doing against like Burning Abyss, Nekroz, Qwilforts, Shaddolls, all the main decks you'll see. It's a very viable deck against all of them. They play really well. I find myself citing very simple cards for the matches, so it's definitely you can definitely pick up and play. Thanks for watching. I know it was a lot of information to take, but hopefully you did learn a little bit something more about Chaos Dragons, and kind of, if you do want to start up and running it, you definitely have a good base and foundation to start on. Until next time, guys, this is Burststream. Peace.